Hi, everybody. How you doing? Cool. So, our next guest lecturer is Mark Kahn, who has written a great book called Rich Man, Poor Bank. He'll explain more about it over the course of his discussion here, and I'll hand the floor over to him.
Awesome. Okay, who's awake? Who's not really awake? Siesta? Anyways, my name is Mark Kwan, and quick question for you guys. If anyone was coming down to see a presentation by a guy named Mark Kwan, would anyone expect an Asian guy? A lot of people get that. I get that all the time. They pass on my business card, and I go sit down with them, and they go, "You're not Asian," and they look disappointed. Okay. Now, who's ever seen that Seinfeld episode? Anyone ever see it? Where they expect the financial planner to be Asian, and they're disappointed if he's not. Just kidding. Anyways, I am Canadian, first of all. So does anyone hate Canadians? Any Canadian haters? Nobody? Okay, good. Sounds like you get a room full of Canadian haters, and it's just sort of crap. No, I am from Canada, so my last name, Kwan, Q-U-A-N. One N would be Asian, but if you add an extra N, it's Irish. So a lot of Kwans in Ireland. And, I came from Canada 18 years ago. I jumped the border. I was an illegal immigrant to California 18 years ago. So how many people came here illegally with no green card? Just you and me? Where are you from? Actually, all right. See, that's it. I was going to say, this is Southern California. I can't be the only illegal immigrant here, right? So no, I actually came here with no green card. My first job was a security guard for $8 an hour at Century City. I was driving around a beat-up station wagon, and I don't have a high school or college diploma. So how many high school, college dropouts were there? No, seriously, I don't. I went to school in grade 9, and then I left grade 9 in Canada. And then eventually I went to worked all the worst jobs in the world, like really, really bad jobs, and realized, wait a second, I got to go back to school. These jobs all are no good options here, right? So I went back to college in Canada, and they let you into college even without a high school diploma. There's an entry program. And I went to college, and 2.5 years later, I was buried in student loans and credit card debts, and I still haven't learned how money works. Okay, so I was like, what is going on with the system? Okay, why is it? Well, let me ask you. But anyways, if you saw if you saw somebody with no high school diploma, no college diploma, no green card, driving a beat-up station wagon to a security guard job, how many people would say, "Man, follow that guy, he's going places"? Who would say that? Nobody? No. Okay. So that was me 18 years ago. Today, I own a pretty large financial company. I've got offices in 4 states. We're expanding into Miami. I was the type of kid, I didn't like school, honestly. I'm just being honest with you. I didn't like school. I hated reading books. So, if you hate school and hate reading books, you should just write one. Right? Doesn't that make the nice logical step is to go write a book? So, this only took about 5 years. So 5 years. I'd never done it before. I didn't know what to do. I just kind of typing away 2-finger at Starbucks for 5 years and hired 2 consultants. And 5 years later, I came up with a book. Now, I tell you one thing is that, let me ask you, if you saw a guy, like I said, if you saw a guy with no high school diploma and all that stuff, but I'll give you a statistic. I don't know if you guys have never heard this. You're 4 times more likely to become a millionaire in the United States if you immigrate to the United States. Who's ever heard that before? Nobody's ever heard that before. Okay. Why would immigrants be more likely to become millionaires than people born in the United States?
Because they have an incentive to want to achieve the American dream.
Incentive to want to achieve the American dream. Exactly. I looked around Canada everywhere. I was searching everywhere across Canada. I was like, there's no Canadian dream. I was like, it's got to be the American dream. Right? So that's
well, it'd probably be hockey.
Hockey, exactly. Hockey and beer. Hockey and beer. That's what we do in Canada. So again, why would immigrants be more likely to become millionaires than people born in the United States? Why is that? Any thoughts? Anybody? Nobody?
That's in mind.
You're right. Okay. Well, I'll talk about that a little bit. But I think that immigrants, they don't see. I think immigrants see the opportunities in America more than people born here. Would you agree with me on that? Anybody agree with me on that? maybe. Okay. So some of the most successful advisors in our company are from countries where it's illegal to own your own company. So they come from countries and they go, well, I can't even start a company in my country. And they go, come to the United States, they want to own a business and stuff like that. So I think it's that American dream and stuff like that. And some people don't see that. Even me coming from Canada, Canada's not so bad. Come on, it's pretty posh. But even me, I came here and I said, man, the United States has so much more opportunities for me. And I did something very, very different most people did. I started reading books on finance, entrepreneurship, business, and investing, and I immersed myself in that. I asked myself the question, what's the difference between rich people and everyone else? Okay, the first question asked. 2 was ask the question, why don't we teach finances in school? Okay, I'm going to teach you some basic concepts that you'll probably never learn in any educational system throughout the entire world. Why don't we teach finances in school? Anybody know?
Yes, hang on one second.
No, I find that most people will actually want to learn it, but it's so maybe that bit to that. But I can tell you the teachers don't understand it. They really don't. I mean, I hate to say it, but most teachers I sit down with are not doing very well financially. Right? So why don't we teach finances in school? Right? Well, I figured it out. Started reading books on it. If financial education goes up, bank profit goes down. If financial education goes down, and you dumb down the population and keep everybody financially ignorant, the banks make more money. And that's why you're not taught finances in school. Okay? So, I'll give you some examples of that. Let's jump into that. By the way, I read a lot of your questions. Make sure that a lot of your questions are going to be answered in the presentation, but I do want to open this up for questions after. When is this thing over, by the way? What time's the class over? 2:15. Can you watch the clock here around 2 o'clock? We'll open it up to questions. Okay? All right. So let's jump into it. How many people? By the way, I'm an entrepreneur. I have an app. My app was supposed to be released today called Rich Man Education. I own a financial company. There's some other things that I'm working on. But I'm also tied to what's called a broker-dealer. Like I need a financial company to tie myself to so I can do other things. Make sense? So how many people have seen our building before in San Francisco, the Transamerica building? How many people have seen it in person? You've seen it person. How many people have seen it in movies? Okay? Mission Impossible 4. I don't know if you've seen Mission Impossible 4. They take a nuclear missile, they fly it right into our building. It just bounces right off. That's how strong our company is. Also in Godzilla, okay, there's a scene in Godzilla. How many of you have seen Godzilla? Anyone? Godzilla, most recently, a couple years ago. Yeah, there's a scene in Godzilla where they're throwing the monsters around San Francisco. It's knocking down all the buildings in San Francisco except the Transamerica building. Do you know why they didn't knock it down? Because even Godzilla respects our building. Okay? Just kidding. All right, so anyways, this is the mission of the company, but my mission is a little bit different. My mission is financial education. I'm just going to jump into this for this one here. Okay. The history of Transamerica. Aegon's a Dutch company. They're worth about, they're worth $15 billion or something like that. Very, very large company. They purchased Transamerica. But Transamerica, that big company, used to know more about corporate structure. Okay? Work with the employees. Okay? Now it's moving to an entrepreneurial type of business. Okay? The whole growth of the company is entrepreneurs growing their own companies, not a corporate structure. Just like there used to be a taxi cab industry. Remember taxis? Yellow taxis? Do you ever see them anymore? It's Uber and Lyft. Okay? It changed. Something shifted in the world, and it changed it. It actually wiped out an industry, and it replaced it with another one. Okay? And today, it's actually entrepreneurs growing the financial service industry. We need them. We need the backing of these structures, but they need us more than we need them. They don't have distribution. So financial advisors, we become distribution. What's the number one skill of a financial advisor who wants to become successful? What's the number one skill? People person, that's right. People skills. Top of the list. I know lots of guys who are really smart with numbers that can't make any money in the financial industry. They didn't work on people skills. What's the best book on to become successful in financial advising? How to win friends and influence people. There you go. That's it. People think financial. Financial is you need to learn the finances, but you need to learn the people skills, you need to learn how to market, you need to learn how to find clients. So I'm testing a model right now on Uber and Lyft drivers generating leads for me in the financial service industry. I can do it all across the United States, sitting from a hot tub in Hawaii. It's just so we're doing some very innovative stuff on finding clients and things like that. But anyways, let's jump into it. Now, I'm tied to all these different. I didn't know what any of these things were. Okay, 12 years ago, I walked in. I had no idea what those things were. I sort of heard of them. I didn't know what they are. They're all sort of products to grow, protect, and build your wealth. Okay, how many of you want to become wealthy? Okay, like how many of you are really, really serious about that? How many people between 0 and 10 are at 10 on wanting to become wealthy? That's the only way you're going to get there. You're really going to have to. That's going to become a serious, goal in your life is to become wealthy. Okay, I'm going to tell you, it's not that hard to become wealthy. It's very easy to become wealthy. Anybody can do it. Okay, that's now just different levels of it. Okay, so let's talk to you guys about that. Now, what is the difference between the rich people? Why do some people become wealthy and the vast majority of people never achieve it? What are your thoughts on that? Why is that? Anybody? What's that? Take risks, definitely part of it. Work ethic, huge part of it. I just outwork my competitors. You know what? You know what was my greatest gift or great hand? Not the word. My greatest upper hand manager. But it's because I didn't have a high school or college diploma or a green card. I didn't go, where's my job with my big paycheck? Guess what I had to do? I'm going to outwork the guy. I'm going to outwork him. I'm going to outstudy him. I'm going to outread him. I'm going to, you know what I mean? I had to compete on a different level. Okay? Where other people are like, I'm just going to go to school and go get a fancy job. Well, I can't do that. I don't have all those things. So my greatest, I can't remember the word, but anyways, so the difference is the rich and the poor, the rich people and everyone else. You know what it is? It's what you believe about money. Whatever you're taught about money from when you're a kid and what your family believes about money and your associations believe about money will determine your future. Make sense? Okay. Example, I wrote the whole book. I gave a lot of thought into what would be the most powerful topic to determine if a person wins or does not win finances. You know what I did? It's called the power of associations. Who you hang out with. Think of the 5 people you hang around with most. What's their incomes? Okay? What are their habits? Right? Do they have lazy habits, good habits? Are they smart financially? Are they trying to become financially independent? Do they just want to be middle class? Do they have bad habits that could make them poor? Do they have an alcohol problem? Do they smoke cigarettes? Do they eat junk food? Everything in your life is those 5 associations. Everything. You will never escape them. People say, well, what? I can't change my friends. You can't change your friends? Change your friends. Serious. I don't hang out with any of the people I used to hang out with. Okay? Any of them. I used to be a smoker, drinking too much. Like, I was like basically a Canadian. I mean, I was like, okay. But I'm saying, it's just, so those associations. Now, we grow up, and at some point in our life, the vast majority of people are told to go get a job. Isn't that right? Told to go get a job. Do all the wealthy people have jobs, or do they own companies? They own companies. Okay? They do. So, but we're told to go get a job. My advice is go get a job and start a company on the side. That's my personal advice. I think it's the best way to do it. It's the safest way to do it. How many hours does the average American household watch television per day? How many hours per day is the television on in American households? 5 hours a day. That means 35 hours a week is invested in television. Isn't that crazy? Take the television, throw it out, and go be wealthy. That's my advice. So, anyways, we got people who go get a job. They put money into a 401k plan. They buy term life insurance. That's where you send premiums in for 30 years and expires, and you lose all your premiums. Kind of like auto insurance and so on. And they rent a home, and they're told to save money and get good credit. Who had their family, their mom or dad or relative or somebody brought them down to the bank and told them to open up a checking and savings account? Great. You're being set up to fail financially. You are. The worst thing you can do to kids is take them down to the bank and open up a checking and savings account. I cannot think of a worse foundation for finances than to do that. You walk into the bank, they say, save money and get good credit. Have you been told to save money and get good credit?
Yeah.
How many of you save money, get good credit? You've been told to do that. Correct. Why have you been told to save money and get good credit? Why have you been told to save money and get good credit?
They
save money.
invest the money and think for us and they give us.
Okay. 50 years ago, the banks were actually okay. You could save money. They'd say you 6% rate of return on your savings account. They didn't offer credit cards, and they'd give you a mortgage. 50 years ago, save money and get good credit was okay. Today, why have you been told to save money? Because it makes bankers wealthy. Why have you been told to get good credit? Because it makes bankers wealthy. Think about it. Imagine this is the greatest savers. Let's split the class right here. You guys are the best savers ever. You guys are amazing savers. We give you high fives. Good job on saving money. Good job on saving money. You guys are fantastic. You guys are the greatest savers ever. You guys saved $10,000 in your savings account. You guys are like, I'm so excited. I saved 10 grand. Your family and college are cheering you on. They're paying you nothing on your savings. They take you guys and they say, you guys got to get good credit. You know, get 3 credit cards. You need to get a high credit score. And you guys accumulate $10,000 in credit card debt. Where do they finance your debt? From your savings accounts. They just take your money and then it's to the side of the class. They don't even have to finance their own debt. You guys finance their debt. Isn't that nice? Save money and getting good credit is setting you up to fail financially. If you want to help put your next generation broke and struggle financially, take them down to the bank, open them up a checking and savings account. There you go. Okay? It's bad information being passed on generationally, causing generational poverty. That's what it is. That's what it was in my family. Okay? So I use a credit union and a robo-advisor. I'll talk to you guys about what about that is. It's a robo-advisor. Anyone heard the term robo-advisor? Okay, I'll talk to you guys about what that is. Okay. So we're told to put money in the bank and save it. It makes bankers wealthy. And then credit card debt makes bankers wealthy. Okay? Then we don't understand how taxes work. Okay? How do you avoid taxes? How do you avoid taxes? Becoming a billionaire helps, but on the way to becoming a billionaire, you need to avoid taxes. Okay? Do you know how to do it? There's tons of legal ways to do it. You need to own a business. You have to run some sort of business part-time to avoid taxes. Let me give you an example. My computer is a tax deduction. My cell phone is a tax deduction. I drove to Bakersfield today. I got huge tax deductions for driving my car. Okay? And who's ever tried tax deductible Starbucks? Ever tried tax deductible Starbucks? It's yummy. Who's ever tried tax deductible sushi? Never tried tax deductible sushi? That's good. It actually tastes better and it's tax deductible. Okay? See, if I have a business meeting, I do anything business related. Write it off on my taxes. Okay? And if I'm to St. Martin on Saturday night, and go spend 5 days sitting relaxing on the corporate villa, I'm going to write everything off of my taxes. That's a business meeting in St. Martin. Sitting on the beach, relaxing. Everything I do on IDF is a tax. I don't have to pay taxes because I'm a business owner. Anybody can do it. Okay? So anyways, so we talked about that. So anyways, these people don't have businesses. They have jobs. They save in 401k plans. They're saving money. They're getting good credit. They don't avoid taxes. And worse than that, who are their advisors? Who are their advisors? Their friends and family. Who are just as confused and set up to fail as they are. See why it's so hard to get from here and escape that? Because all your friends and family are all doing the same thing, and they literally believe it's the right thing to do. It's called the debt matrix in my book. Who's seen the movie The Matrix? When you literally have all these fixed ideas and you're stuck in a matrix and you don't even know it. Congratulations, guys. You guys live in a debt matrix. Do you guys know every transaction you spend goes into a computer? And you guys are targeted for debt your entire life. Your own personal spending habits go into a computer and they're fed back to you. Okay? That's called the debt matrix. Everything you've been taught about money and finances is setting you up to fail financially. Okay? So it breaks down the debt matrix. Okay? Some of these chapters are pretty huge. I'll show you some of these chapters. This is a chapter here. Can anyone get through that one? I'm a big one, huh? Big chapter. It'll take it 2 hours to knock out the book. Right? The last part is called Banks No More. You don't need the banking system. Okay? You guys know you don't need a bank to save. You don't need a bank to borrow. And you don't need a bank to invest. So what do you need the banks for? You know why you think we need banks? Because the banks told you need the banks. You do. I don't need the banks. Okay? A lot of rich people don't use banks. Like, why would I use my bank? What's the purpose of a bank? To dig you in debt for the rest of your life and take your money and pay you nothing and charge you fees. That's the purpose of a bank. And they're fully aware of it. You should be no to. The only purpose of a bank is to put you in bankruptcy, take all your money, steal it when you're not looking, and absolutely pay you nothing on your money. That's the only purpose of a bank today. Okay, yeah, we still do business with them. We don't need to. Again, I use a credit union. It's a not-for-profit cooperative. Okay, more ATMs anywhere. Anyway, so that's one good thing. So, anyways, I'll talk about that. Okay, so these are people who are stuck here generationally. Their family, their associations, they're all here. They're all confused. They're all being fed bad information, and they're being targeted for debt. Okay, these people are different. They're told to own businesses. My niece and my nephew. My niece is 24. She's in the financial industry. I trained her to be a millionaire before she's 30. My nephew's 27. He'll be a millionaire before he's 30. My sister, who's 8 years older, I took her from her company. I trained her in the financial industry to become wealthy. So these people are told to own businesses. They have permanent life insurance to avoid taxes. Okay? They own homes. They have diversified investment portfolios. What is a diversified investment portfolio? Let's take that word. What is it?
Put your money in different places.
Lots of different places. Invested throughout the world, from stocks and bonds throughout the world. What's your name? Morris, okay. So let me ask you, so how come everyone here doesn't have a diversified investment portfolios from when you're a little kid? Because there are rich people do that, by the way. See, the poor middle class say, save money. The rich people are like, no, invest money. Save money makes you poor. Rich investing from when you're a kid makes you wealthy. So that's why, see, you ever heard the rich get rich? And why do the rich get richer? They're not bad people, they're just smart people. I'm not going to do any of that anymore because that's that's not going to work. And then their kids become investors from when they're very young, and it's very easy to become wealthy once you're highly financially educated. Right? So let's say you walk into Bank of America. I lectured this morning in Bank of America Hall, and I'm going to bang on Bank of America, which is great. I can do that, right? I can come bang on any bank I want. So let's say Bank of America. You walk into Bank of America after they give you your savings account and your checking account, and they offer you some credit cards, some auto loans, and a mortgage, and then some student loans to throw on top of that. How come their financial advisor doesn't talk to you about investing? How come they're not actively reaching out to you guys saying, Citibank, Chase, whatever bank you're with, how come they're not actively reaching out to you to teach you about investing? Yeah, they don't want your savings working for you. They want to invest it for themselves. That's one. By the way, do you know what the minimum is before they want to talk to you about finances? What's the minimum investment account you would have to have before they actually want to talk to you? Do you guys know what that number is?
It's like 3 or 5,000, isn't it?
No, they will talk to you, but they don't want to. They'll actually talk to you because they don't want to ruin the customer, but they don't want to talk to you. They actually call it charity work behind the closed doors. They say that's charity work. We don't want to talk to those people. What's the actual number? You said 3, much higher. Higher. 250,000. Did you know that first? No? Yeah, it's 250,000. You gotta have $250,000 before your bank ever wants to talk to you about investing. Anything less than that, nobody's paid a commission. It's charity work. Okay? So here, go ahead. Who's got an extra $250,000 to invest today? Oh, I'm in the wrong classroom. I should be lecturing at Rancho Palos Verdes High School or something like that, where the kids have $250,000 investment accounts or whatever. So, okay, good. I have a minimum too. Okay, I have a very strict minimum before I can take on clients. Okay, it's through a robo-advisor on your cell phone. I can send you an email. You can start investing tomorrow. But what's my minimum? What do you think my minimum is? Give me a guess. $25 is actually lower than that. Not 5. Somewhere between 25 and 5.
It's a 5.
Higher than 5. $10. $10. Yeah, $10. Anybody can become an investor for $10. Send you an invitation. Boom. You even have access to a financial advisor for $10. Is that awesome? So what? I'm strict. Don't send me any $9 referrals. I'm strict. $9 people, I can't help them. They got to come back the extra $1, and then boom, they can start investing. See, anybody of any income can become investing. But what's presented in that? The knowledge. They're told to save money and get good credit. You're told that investing is risky. All these false things we're being taught in our life, which the rich people understand those things. See, anybody can become rich. You guys are all young. Anybody here can become a multi-millionaire in the future. And you can even start with $10. I mean, it's just that crazy. So you guys are a generation. You have so much more opportunities to become wealthy than I think any generation in history. You really do, but you're just not getting access to the information. Okay? So, anyways, yeah. So $10. By the way, stay out of debt. Okay? When you walk into the Macy's department store or Best Buy, and they give you a high five and they say, "Welcome to Macy's." What's your name? Esperanza. And they say, "Have you ever bought something at Macy's?" And they go, "Hey." And they say, "So sign right here. We're going to give you a 20% discount just to apply for the credit card." They're going to help you build credit. Ooh, they're going to help me. Really? I'm helping you with a discount and helping you get good credit. No, they're helping you into debt. They want to get their hooks into you and get you conditioned to say it's okay to be in debt. And then they'll give you false information like, "Ooh, keep a balance on your credit card because it helps you build a credit score." False, 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 false. It's not what rich people are doing. Rich people have great credit scores and they never pay money to the banks. I guarantee it. Okay? So you don't need it. Okay? Stop getting all that false information. So you want to become debt free and stay out of debt. Okay? There's lots of ways to get out of debt. Okay? Do you think the bank's going to help you get out of debt? No, they're not. So that's the best way is getting out of debt for very unhealthy for the banks. Okay? By the way, when you swipe a credit card, what happens? When you go into debt, what happens? You know what they do? Take your credit card, right, and you swipe it. Okay? Right? Take your credit card, you swipe it. What happens? They log into the computer and they charge you interest on nothing. They didn't actually lend you anything. They would have lent you nothing. Swipe it, they lend you nothing, and then they start calculating interest on lending nothing. And they just logged into the computer. That's it. That's how the world works. Very different than what it used to be. Okay? So you're putting in debt electronically. They're just logging into the computers and charging you. Great. Default, what happens when you foreclose on a home? They delete the entry. Foreclose on a home. They just go, delete, that's it. Done. They just write it off. Tax deduction. They don't understand how taxes work, so you need to have a business to avoid taxes. And you have to have people who are smart financially. Right? Guess what? If you become your own financial advisor, who's going to rip yourself off? You're not going to charge yourself extra too much or give yourself the same product. Again, there's some basic stuff. It's not hard to do this this stuff. Okay? So we're just increase your financial IQ. Today we're increasing your financial IQ. Okay? And we can do better if we just do that. So again, that's it. These people, they teach it generationally. Right? The rich get richer and the poor get poorer. Makes sense? It's easy. Just start moving that way. Go, how do I get out of debt? How do I start an investment account? How do I avoid taxes? How do I start a business? Whatever those things are. Okay? That's what my company does. Like we do all those different methods. Cool. Any questions on that? Yes?
What's the difference between a 401k and a diversified
I'll
portfolio?
totally bring it up there. A diversified portfolio is investment. A 401k is a tax code. So you can take investments and you can put it into different tax codes. I'll actually give you a great example of that, but that's a great question. Okay? Let's go to the next slide. How many people have heard this before? Nobody, huh? It's crazy. Like we just don't. I've been to Pepperdine University, right, where all the rich kids live, and I sat down with a business professor there. He didn't know this stuff. Even the kids at Pepperdine, you know where they're getting it from? They're getting it from their parents. So, okay. All right, good. Who's heard of? How many people have heard a rumor that rich people are good at avoiding taxes? Who's ever heard of that? Okay, good. Well, poor people can be good at avoiding taxes too. So can middle class. Let me give you an example. Who's ever heard of Roth IRA? Senator Roth. Heard of Roth? Okay, cool. There's a senator named Roth that named it. A Roth is an account. It's a retirement account where you don't have to pay any taxes on it. There's no taxes on it. So when you retire, you don't pay any taxes on your retirement money. Okay? So if you have $5,000 a year, now is $5,000 a year a lot of money? It's like nothing, huh? It's like a car payment or a few trips to Target and a few Macy's shopping sprees, a big screen television. Oh, $5,000 a year can be blown like anybody can blow $5,000 a year really quick. Right? All right, I'm going to invest $5,000 a year into an investment account under a tax code called Roth IRA for Senator Roth. Okay. Anybody 25 years old? 25? You're 25? Okay, good. Let's say yes? Okay, good. Okay. Would you like millions and millions of dollars tax-free? Yes, okay, good. We've established that. That's good. That's the right answer. You put $5,000 a year in a Roth IRA. After 40 years, if it's growing 10% rate of return, you have $2.2 million tax-free. Is that good? $2.2 million tax-free. That's it. You don't have to be eventful or you don't have to be like a financial genius. You have to start investing and do it under a non-taxable tax code, which anybody can do. Okay? By the way, that's like having $4 million in a 401k. 401k is taxable. That's tax-free. You invest in a 401k, made $4 million, the government takes half, leaves you with $2 million. You only need $2 million. You only need half the amount of money to get to the same place if you understand tax avoidance. Pretty cool. Awesome. Like this is, anybody can become a multimillionaire. But you don't come to me and say, Mark, I want to start with $9. I'm like, go bum $1 and, let's get you started. Okay? Now, if you wait 2 years, if you just wait 2 years and don't invest the first $10,000, you lose $400,000. You wait 2 years, great, you lost $400,000. The first $10,000 because of the power of compounding money, the first $10,000 because it grows for 38 years, there's that $400,000. You wait 2 years, don't put $10,000 in, you lost $400,000 tax-free. Isn't that crazy? Compounding money, compounding. Never compounds in the bank. Like people go, who's ever saved money and you look at it and go, it's not doing anything. Guess where they go? Savings doesn't work. I may as well go spending. That's the psychology behind it. The person goes, I don't want to save money because it's not doing anything. And you invest on your phone and go, wow, my money's working for me. Guess what? I want to invest more money. Becoming wealthy or poor is so close together. It's so close. It's one day in a classroom like this. That's it. Change it over. Anybody can become wealthy. So, all right. Now, you need to protect your assets. Okay? If you're serious about building wealth, you need life insurance and long-term care. Why? Because if you die, your family gets money. If you get really sick, you're not going to wipe out your finances. That's life insurance, long-term care. And you guys are pretty young. You should have it when you're young and healthy. Because if you're sick and old, you can't get it anymore. Okay? You have to grow your money. You have to grow your money. You have to have safety on a lot of your money, and you have to have tax advantages. What if I told you could protect your assets, grow your money with no risk, and not pay any taxes on it? Would that be good? Does that sound too good to be true? Who's heard of nationwide insurance? Nationwide is... Yeah, that's a nationwide product. The Transamerica product, Voya, Pacific Life. These are the things that rich people give to their kids when they're born. They have investment accounts, they never have any taxes, they only go up, they never go down. Let me show you an example of that. There's fixed rate of return. Usually you're getting almost no rate of return, so your money is fixed and never growing. Okay? There's variable. This is like stock market, up and down, up and down. Okay? Now, the market's going up, everyone's getting excited. They're like, wow, my money is growing. The market crashes. What does everyone do? Sell. They get scared and sell. What should you be doing? You should be buying. Everything's cheap. Everything's on sale right here. Why does everyone sell? Rich people are like, wow, we should probably buy a whole lot more shares, okay, of cheap stock because it's down now. See, this is the time when the economy is bad. That's the point to become wealthy. When the economy is bad. That's the best time ever. 2008, and you could have put a pretty small amount of money and grow it into a lot of money in 2008 after the crash. That's the best time to become wealthy. Not in a good economy, in a bad economy, right there. Okay? So, now, your economy goes up and down, don't worry about it. Market crashes, as long as you don't need the money, add more. I was sitting with Jay here this morning, and he was over lunch. He was saying, in the robo-advisor, anytime there was a down market, he tells his clients, add more money. He's been getting like 15% rate of return on money. It's crazy. So, I just learned something going to lunch with Jay right here. So, okay, so then there's index. If you're investing for the long term, or a larger amount of money, there's investment accounts that go up, they walk. Every single year. Market goes up, they walk. Market crashes, you can't lose any money. Market goes up, you make money. Market crashes, you can't lose any money. Market goes up, you make money. Market crashes, you can't lose any money. That's exist. They're around for a long time. These are not new concepts. They're just not being taught to the middle class. Okay, that's what my company does. We go, hey, you can invest just like rich people. You can get out of debt. You can do it too. Okay, pretty cool. Anyone ever seen that before? Okay, sweet. So, because apparently the rich Merrill Lynch guys aren't coming to Bakersfield to talk to you guys about finance and tell you what the rich people are doing. Okay? Because I come from a poor background, I'm like, you know what? I should probably help people like me become wealthy too. Okay? I'm 39. I don't need to work anymore. This is fun. Okay? It's kind of cool actually. Residual income coming in. Go to the villa, hang out, right? Talk to you guys. This is fun stuff for me. So, all right. Now, who's ever heard of Rule of 72? Rule of 72. One person. Wow, that's crazy. Okay? It's only the most important rule to understand on the subject of money. By the way, who's ever heard of Albert Einstein? E equals what? MC squared. Isn't that amazing? We teach E equals MC squared in every educational curriculum throughout the entire world. Yet Albert Einstein called the rule of 72 the eighth wonder of the world. Okay? Said everybody needs to understand my rule of 72. Okay? How do we? And yet Albert Einstein's eighth wonder of the world, rule of 72, is not taught in any educational curriculum throughout the entire world. Why is Albert Einstein's most important discovery on finances not taught in every educational curriculum throughout the entire world? Why do you think that is? Who controls your education system and what's in it? Throughout the entire world, who do you think designs it? I'll let you answer that for yourself. Okay? Here's how it works. Take an interest rate, divide it into the number 72. It tells you the number of years it takes for your money to double. Okay? So let's say you get 1% return on your savings account. Wouldn't that be exciting? 1%. Who's excited about 1%? Let's play a game called Name the Interest Rate on Your Savings Account. Who can give it to me? 0.05. Hey, that's pretty good. That's pretty close. It's awesome. Are you excited about that? 0.05? No? Well, tell you what. What's your name? Travis. Well, if you get 1% rate of return on your money, Travis, it takes 72 years for your money to double. Are you excited about that? Put $100 in your savings account. Even if you get 1%, you go back with your walker and you're old and gray. You go and they go, hey, how much money do I have? They're like, $200. Okay? Can't win like that, right? Okay? But you're not getting 1. You're getting 0.1 or 0.01. Well, if it's 0.01 on your savings account, it takes 720 years for your money to double. Who wants to wait 700 years for your money to double? Okay? What if you're at 0.01? 7,200 years minus fees. 7,000 years to double your savings account minus any fees they decide to deduct from along the way. So you can never win saving. Well, maybe you can win at 4%. Maybe if I got 4 on my money, could I win? What if you make 4 but inflation's 4? Where do you end up? Nowhere. What if you deduct taxes from the 4% you just made? Make sense? Make 4 minus inflation, you're at 0. Deduct stuff for taxes, you're never winning. You can't even win at 4%. Saving money will never make you win. Just remember this. Saving money makes bankers wealthy. You need to be investing money. Investing money. Sound good? Okay. Now what if your bank took your money? What if they did pay you 4%? Money doubles every 18 years. Be 29 to 47. If you're 29, you have 10. You get to retire on $40,000. Who wants to retire on 40 grand? Okay. What does the bank have? What if the bank took it and got 12% rate of return on their money? That doubles every 6 years. From 29 to 65, the bank would turn your 10,000 to 640,000. Is it better to have 640,000? Much better, isn't it? 640 grand. Okay. Now that's the crazy part is, again, you don't need a bank. Credit union and what's called a robo-advisor. I'll just about touch on that. Okay, so yeah, don't need the banks. Cut them out like financial cancer. Done. Who said that? Like Mark Pong. They'll say, it sounds like an Asian guy, right? Now, check this out. Most people in America have lots of credit card debt. They're like, oh, I'm building my credit score. This is so exciting. I'm watching it go up on my credit. My credit score is going up because I have credit card debt. No, you're being robbed. Most credit card debt is your Best Buy card, your Macy's department store, your Citibank, and name a big bank. One of those cards are at 24% interest. Do you know why? Or higher. 24. You know why? Double your debt every 3 years. What happens if your debt double your debt every 3 years and your savings account every 7,000 years? Where do you end up? Double your debt every 3 years and your savings accounts every 7,000 years. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, people teach their kids, save money, get good credit. Let's take you to the bank, open up that checking savings account. Then they target you. They put you in the computer. Every time you spend your money, they track how and why you spent it. If you took on debt, then you bite on the 0% offer, and then they feed it back to you for the rest of your life. They target you. They're like predators. Let's find every weakness in their spending and target back to them. You got to live in a debt matrix. You need to understand that. Wake up and go, wait a second. I recognize that stuff. That's part of the debt matrix. Okay, I'm supposed to become an investor. I'm not supposed to become a spender. Make sense? Cool? All right, so that's how the system works. Bury everybody in debt. double their debt every 3 years, and double their savings every 700 years or 7,000 years. Okay? So cut out the debts, become an investor. All right. Now, tax now, tax later, and tax never. Pick one. Which one would you like? Tax advantage. Okay, well, how this works. So you have tax now. You have money in savings accounts and CDs. They're the lowest rate of return and the highest form of taxation. Okay? That doesn't, even if you're with a credit union, it's still not going to work for you. It's better, and maybe you can ask me a question about that. But so you have savings. Again, it doesn't do anything for you. It just sits there. But you can get to it. But great. Okay. Now you can have investments on a cell phone, where you invest money. Here, I'm going to give you an example of how fast I can invest money. Okay. There we go. Time beat. That was about 4 seconds, 5 seconds. Okay. Log into my app. Like this. There we go. I want to invest money. I'm going to put $100 for my credit union. Done. $100 just went for my credit union and my investment accounts. Done. That's it. No fees to invest. Anybody can become investors. See, I use a credit union because I don't want my money to touch the banks, and it's invested for me and it's growing for me all the time. Okay? Very cool. So you want to become an investor. You want your short-term money needs to be invested for you. It needs to be making a higher rate of return and reducing taxes. Okay? Tax later. How many people have heard of that term 401k? 401k. Okay? What does that mean? 401k. It's a tax code. Don't worry about it. 403b, it's just a tax code. All of these things here, 401k, 403b, IRA, they're just a tax code. All they mean is this. You get a tax deduction when you save your money. You put it in a retirement account, and they give you a tax deduction on the seed. Does that sound good? What's your name? Malik. They give you a tax deduction on a small amount of money, and then you grow it for the next 40 years. And when it's really large, what do you think they do? They tax your money. They give you a tax deduction on the seed to then tax you on the harvest. Do you think there's a possibility they would tax the harvest that much more than the seed? Do you think the government would do that? No way, really?
But also when you have to do a mandatory distribution as well.
Absolutely. Those called required minimum distributions. All this stuff. I don't want to go into the depth of it. Yeah, the government's setting people up to fail again because they want to give them a tax deduction on the seed to lock up all the money into the harvest, and then they can just jack up taxes for those people and hammer the middle class on the tax on their retirement accounts. That's what I believe is going to happen with between good savers and 401ks. I want to say, if you get a matching contribution, like you work for a company, you put in $1, your employer puts in $1, that's free money. You want to take that free money, okay? Because it's free. You're like, wow, it's free money. But you also want to know how this one works. Tax advantaged. There's 3 tax codes where you can eliminate almost completely all the taxes for the rest of your life. One is Roth IRA, one is municipal bonds, and the other is called index universal life insurance. Okay? It's how rich people invest. Okay. So, okay. Any questions on that? Any questions on stuff? Let's open up the questions. I know we've covered a lot of topics. So, any other questions on anything? Yes.
I have a question. You're told to save for a rainy day. Let's say $20,000 in the bank.
Yep.
Do you recommend not even saving that for a rainy day, like in case of losing a job, or do you want that to be invested instead of saving?
Okay. So I would say maybe, I don't know, it's for every person. Most people don't have an emergency of $20,000. Like they don't have a $20,000 emergency. They have a $2,000 emergency or a $5,000 emergency, right? So maybe $5,000 in a credit union, right, in a checking account, and the other $15,000 investments, to then keep investing every month. So the 15 turns into 20 and 25 or something like that. You know what I mean? And so yeah, so that's kind of what I do. Mine goes to my checking account, and then the rest is constantly invested. And I'm constantly adding to it. Because every time I do a classroom presentation, I save $100. I'm like, hey, want to see $100 going? I'm like, there's $200 saved today. So just constantly have this. I had a girl who was like, I love shopping. Her name's Naz. She's like, I love shopping. I can't. Like, give me a rule. She actually took the advice. I said, look, anytime you spend money on something you don't, he said, I recognize that I'm blowing this money. I don't need this. I want it. If you spend $200, you have to invest $200. So I spent $200. Great. Now I got to invest $200. She's like, that's perfect. I can make that work. Imagine that. Wouldn't you question, hey, And they go spend $50 right now. What if you have to say? What if you have to invest $50 every time you spend $50? That would change you. Like, what if the $50 kept growing for you though? Like you walk in front, my $50 just grew into $51 or whatever it was. You know what I mean? So pretty cool. Okay, good, great question by the way. Yes, those are more of the questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it easy to withdraw money when you want to withdraw money?
You want to see me drop money? It's fine.
From your investment?
Yeah. It's pretty easy. Yeah, you press the minus when you want to take it out. And you press the plus when you want to put it in. Anybody like you want to recap on that? Should I run a class on that? Plus minus deal. It's pretty complicated. There you go. Let's take up let's invest another $100. Yeah, let's do it. There you go. Another $100. $200 more invested.
So that when you withdraw that money, you're receiving like
There's some taxes on it, but again, you make it. Okay, if you make. Let me draw this out. Do we have a marker here? Okay. You make $100 in your savings. You have $100 in your savings. You make virtually no money. You pay no taxes, right? Because you don't make any money. $100 is still in there. You make $100. You make $8. You have to pay taxes maybe on 2 if you sell. You still have $6. You know what I mean? Now, if you keep growing it without taxes, then there's ways to reduce taxes on investment accounts even when the money's growing. So yeah, you can keep the money growing and then only get taxed when you take it out. When you're savings, you get taxed every single year whether you take it out or not. Okay, so good, got it?
What percent is tax? Is it like 15% on the
I know what your income is. As you make more money, you're going to want to learn more about taxes. Because it's not a big problem. Like, I don't make any money. You don't pay any taxes when you don't make any money. Don't worry about that now. It's when you make more and more money, taxes become a bigger problem. Okay? So, have you ever heard, no money, no problems? It's true. It's true. Okay? Anybody any other questions? Guys, open. I know a lot of stuff. Ask me. Let's do it. Yeah. Go ahead.
So what would be your recommendation for somebody that's a recent graduate? What would you think a good game plan would be?
Do you want to become an employee or own your own company or both? Okay, so you want a job and you want to. Okay, so find a good job. You have a good job lined up. Okay, start the habit of investing 10% of your income. Just invest it. Pretend it doesn't exist. Live on 90% or better yet, 85 or so on. Just take a certain percentage of income and invest it every single month. Okay, when the economy goes bad, you go, let's buy up everything cheap. Stocks, real estate, everything's cheap. That's how you become wealthy. Economy cycling up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, right? Maybe every 8 to 10 years, up and down, up and down. When the economy crashes, you have to be the person with the most money. Even at a job, you can become wealthy. You just have to be prepared when the economy crashes. What do I buy that's cheap? Okay. Now, if you want to open your own business, then you can accelerate it. Okay. There's 2 ways to make lots and lots of money. There's financial planning for if you want to be middle class. And there's financial planning if you want to become wealthy. It's a little bit different, actually. Okay. If you want to become wealthy, you have to use other people's money and other people's time. Who's ever heard of OPT and OPM? Anybody heard of OPM and OPT? You heard? Other people's time. You ever heard of that? Other people's time. Rich people go, I'm going to get everybody else to do the work. They use other people's time. Other people's money, as they go, I'm going to invest with other people's money. Whose parents own a house in here? Great, your parents did the first step of becoming wealthy. They used other people's money to build their wealth. They just didn't keep doing it. They took money, they borrowed a little bit from the bank, they bought a big asset, and then the big asset goes up, right? They used other people's money. But the only thing they ever taught was buy one home. You're not supposed to buy one home, you should buy another, and buy another, and buy another. That's it, becoming an investor. Make sense? So you use other people's money to get wealthy, and other people's time. Okay? When I'm working today, if I'm not working, guess what? There's lots of other guys working for my company, right? And we're making money, yet I'm teaching them the same stuff. So, is that good answer to that? Okay, yeah. Invest a certain percent of your income, like just automatically invest it. You know, when the economy is bad, have a plan. Just call me like, hey Mark, economy went bad. What do I invest into? Okay. So good. Any other questions?
Do you usually do it for people though when they're wanting to invest? You do it.
Yeah, totally. I'll have my app launched, YouTube channel, where I'll answer people questions about money. Like I'm doing this for, I want to be doing this for millions of people across the United States over the next couple of years. You know what I mean? So, you guys got me right before my launch of my app. It was supposed to come out today. Oh, my book is going to be released in Mandarin. I just got a draft of the Mandarin copy of my book in Mandarin. It's pretty cool. It's available in Espanol. Yeah. Hombre rico, banco pobre. Work on Canadians can't pronounce it the Spanish well. So, take a good question, yes.
So when you were saying, invest 10% of your income. So you also mentioned 401ks. If you're putting that 10% into your 401k, are you not considering that investing?
Only if you're getting a match. People don't get a match of 10% on their 401k. They might get either no match. If you get 6, great. Invest 6. Where's the other 4 go? The other 4 goes to something else. Okay? Preferably tax exempt. Okay? But you know what? If you can do 10, why not do 15? Just cut some expenses a little bit and do 15. Do the 15, and you can have 3 different types of investments. Okay? Oh, by the way, let me go back a couple slides. Okay. This is good when the economy is going up or down, but when the economy crashes, these crash too. Okay? That's fine. You can keep doing it. If you're investing for retirement, this works great because when the economy crashes, you buy more shares. You buy more shares. When it recovers again, you actually make more money because you bought up cheap stuff. This is important if you want to become rich. Because if you have lots of money and the economy crashes, guess what you can do? Buy up stocks and real estate. And then they surge and you can increase your net worth many times over with an economic collapse. Okay? So I'm like, man, I wish the economy would collapse. I was kidding. But I'm saying the economy is like a rubber band. Okay? So it goes up. Remember when right before the crash, the economy was booming, everyone was making money or whatever. That was the rubber band flexing. It flexes it's too good. It comes down. The higher it goes, the lower it goes. When we went to the Great Recession, the economy was booming, but it was kind of fake. Now, once we're in recession, guess what? The economy is rebounding again. See? But guess what happens? Guess what happens now? The economy is starting to go up again. Guess what happens when it turns around? The bigger it stretches this way, the bigger it stretches that way. So guess what's coming next? Somewhere in the next 5 to 10 years. Because we're feeling really good right now, huh? Stock market's moving, real estate prices booming. Guess what's coming? You guys not realize that an economic collapse is coming sometime in the next 5 to 10 years? May happen in 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, I don't know. But how are you going to be positioned when the next economic collapse comes? Are you going to be broke? Great, I'll go from broke to homeless. Great, awesome. Okay? Middle class, boom. Lose their house, lose all their stuff, back to home, back to poor again. All right? Just understand that these things, they happen. So have a plan. These things work great because, again, they don't crash. Economy crashes, like, hey, you're using my money. What do I want to buy now? What do I want to buy this cheap? Cool. Good. Any other questions? Yes. What's your name?
Miriam.
Miriam with the many questions.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, so let's say I want to invest $5,000. Your company will diversify the portfolio so that I can make money basically.
Yeah, it's actually a robo-advice. It's an algorithm.
Okay.
Yeah, because I don't do it. I don't have to do anything. You just set it up.
So
And
they're
then,
like no day traders or anything.
no, it's not day trading. It's an algorithm. We've never heard of Vanguard before. Charles Schwab. Heard of Charles Schwab? BlackRock. These are all the big companies. I mean, they do this stuff. So anyways, the cool thing is, yeah, you can start for small amounts and just start the habit. So I don't want to make a suggestion to everybody right now just because we want to make sure that I don't want to give up blanket advice. Be responsible as a financial person. But any questions on that? Any other questions? All right, so this is what it is. You need to tie it into, throughout your life, you constantly need to monitor these 6 areas. Cash flow. What's your plan for increasing your income? You always have to plan. Make more money. Don't never go, I'm satisfied with my salary. I'm good. Who's ever heard that good is the enemy of great? Who's ever heard that? Huh? What does that mean?
Just that you don't do great. Good is not good enough. At least at my house, my husband tells my kids, good is not good enough.
Awesome.
It should be great.
So it sums on the cake. Do better, right? That's it. Do better. Don't be satisfied. Don't be average and ordinary. Get to it. Get on. You know what I mean? That's it. See, when things are good, people become complacent. They don't change. Like, oh, the economy is good. Right? Oh, let's just be comfortable. Right? Complacency. When people are like really down, they work really hard to get up. But then when things are good, they stop working hard. They're like, oh, things are good. So good's the enemy of great. Okay? So, anyways, you want to have a plan. Always have a plan for making more money. Manage your expenses. You know what? A lot of your expenses are going to go to taxes. Taxes. Millions and millions of dollars are going to be taken away from you in taxes unless you do something about it. So you run a business. You have to run a business to make more money. Reduce your expenses. Have your emergency reserve. 6 to 12 months. Again, maybe it's $5,000 in a savings account, the other $15,000 or $25,000, but keep adding to it, right? Why not have $100,000 of emergency reserves? Why not $200,000? Like, is that, especially if it's invested. So have lots of emergency funds. And debt management. You have to plan for eliminating debt. Okay. Who think the bank's going to give you the best plan for getting out of debt? Who believe that? Right. So there's a lot of ways to get out of debt. Banks really don't want to know. Like, again, it's one of those things. The banks go, oh yeah, I have to pay yours. Really? Okay. And really, how did I get my debt? I swiped a credit card, you logged into the computer, and when I default, you just delete the entry? Really? That's how it works. Interesting. Okay? So, proper protection. See, right now you're like, I don't have any assets, what do I got to protect? Well, good. In the future, hopefully you plan to have assets. You got to protect them. Life insurance, long-term care protects your assets. If you happen to die early, your family gets a whole bunch of money, they get it tax-free, pass it on to the heirs. If you happen to get really sick in the future, long-term care kicks in, protects your assets, you pass the money to your heirs. Okay? I'm 39. I've already got long-term care, of course. You know why? It costs me $8 a month. I spend more on coffee every day at Starbucks. Well, mine's tax deductible. Okay. I've tried tax-deductible sushi and taxable. You know what? Tax-deductible sushi tastes better. It's something about the flavor or texture. Any sushi lovers here? It's better when it's tax-deductible. Fantastic. So, protect your assets. Build wealth. What's your plan for building wealth? What is it? Is it written? Do you know what it is? Do you understand the employee taxes? Right? How's your money taxed? Right? And finally, if you have a plan for building wealth your entire life, and you die, and you don't have a plan for your money, who does have a plan for your money? The state of California, aka Jerry Brown right now. Okay? They're going to try and take all your money, called probate. Okay? Yeah, you die, they take all your assets, your house, everything you ever worked for, and they let's lock it up for a while and charge you a bunch of fees, and it's also just additional form of taxes after you die. See, when you work hard and you earn money, they tax you, right? That's the first time they tax you. Right? I'm going to go save my money, and then you save it, and then they tax you. I'm going to spend it, then they what? They tax you. And then when you die, they tax you too. Do you know why they tax you when you die? You can't complain. All right. So there you go. That's basically it. 6-step financial needs analysis. That's what we do with our advisors. That's what we do with our clients. We just go, look, here's set up your finances, rock and roll, and good to go. Cool. Was that helpful to you guys? Yeah. Have you ever heard anything like that before? No. Okay. All right. Let me see. What other questions do you guys have? Some of you guys wrote questions down. Sent in questions. Did what they taught you in school help you in the real world? My mother taught you that in school. Honestly, I mean, everything's an experience. You only recognize good when you see something that's not quite as good. You know what I mean? School is important. Go get a job. All those things are good because without it, I mean, I was in big trouble when I dropped out at grade 9. I didn't have an invite. And I was working the worst jobs in the world. So I was like, I need to learn. And as I learn more, it's whatever. But then once you it's really about get education, but get also financial education. See, we get lots of education, but when then our financial education is down here. Make sense? You get the education and increase the financial education. Okay? So I don't know describe your typical work day. I wake up whenever I want, go to work whenever I want, go home whenever I want. There you go. Does that sound good? Is that better than having a job? And my vacations are tax deductible. What are the myths that we've taught to believe in regards to finances? Save money and get your credit. There you go. That was done. What are some good financial habits you would suggest we all follow? Invest, invest, invest. Invest. You want to take notes on that one again? Okay. How long did it take you to write the book? 5 years. What advice would you give to undergraduate college students? I think I had answered. Was that answered? Anyone have any other questions on that? No? All right. Would it be safe to eliminate the bank altogether or put your money in investments rather than savings? Sort of, again, I told you what I do. And checking account, I use my checking account to go out and save money, and then I use investments. What would suggest to students who want to save money but are in debt? Send me an email, and I'll show you how to get out of debt. I'm serious. In my email is my book, markjkwan@gmail.com, or mark@markjkwan.com. Hey, I get a plan. In fact, we're doing a class tonight. This is Miguel and Jay Thompson. These guys are running a class tonight in Bakersfield on opportunities in the financial industry where we're going over some similar stuff. So if you need to do that, think about signing sheet too. Yeah, absolutely. This is Jay Thompson. He's actually our local area rep and also a great friend of mine for over a decade.
So just about 9 months ago, Miguel Martin, he was sitting in a class just like you were. He came on board with our firm. He's now fully licensed. He's out in the field helping families every day change their financial future. He's investing thousands of dollars for people, and he's just having the time of his life. And the best part, it's his own business, so he controls his day. If he wants to work, he works. If he doesn't want to work, he doesn't have to. So what are we going to do?
I also legally need you guys to sign in at least to say who I'm talking to because I'm licensed with the federal government. So. Uncle Sam, you know what? She's on.
Actually, it was about 9 months ago. I was actually in the same class with Dr. Wood. Jay sent out an invite to one of the events I was actually holding this afternoon. I ended up taking a chance because I wasn't really looking, so couldn't really go and check it out. Went out there, just fell in love with everything that they did. Everything that Mark was presenting here. This opportunity to work for yourself. My dad, he is self-employed, and he's always taught to me, if you want to get where you want in life, work for yourself. There's a lot more opportunity, and I really took that to heart, and I just decided, I'm just going to go check it out. Absolutely fell in love with what I've seen. This is so much fun. Talking about insurance sounds boring, but the money's great. Helping the families and seeing smiles on their face, that's also really great. But yeah, I welcome all of you guys to come to our event this afternoon. If you guys have any questions, I'll be right here at the door after class. You guys can just come by and take the information there.
Oh, there's the address for the office. What time is it?
6:30.
6:30. Okay. So quick, good. Any other questions? So I can go through these if you guys don't have any specific questions. Let's see. How did you become so knowledgeable about the financial world? Lots of books. Who's ever heard of the 10,000 hour rule? Do something for 10,000 hours. Want to learn baseball? Do it for 10,000 hours. You want to learn? Just do something. But just books. I'd recommend a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Who's ever heard of Rich Dad, Poor Dad? Ever heard that? That was the book that I read that I was like, wow, that book changed my life. And I just kept going down that hole, and I kept reading more and more books. So, yeah, books and who you associate with. That will determine how smart you become. Books and who you associate with. I mean, are you watching? There's YouTube channels on Teach You Finance. There's all these different things out there. It's available out there. You just got to reach out and grab it. Okay? So, do you have any financial advice for a recent graduate with a family wanting to move back to Orange County? Become a financial advisor. Lots of money in Orange County. Lots and lots of it. Okay? One of our biggest offices actually is in Newport Beach. So, get educated. If you get a job, same thing. If you get a job, start a company. Finance is a great industry.
Can you show how much money they would make if they save, help somebody save $200?
Okay, sure. By the way, our best advisor at our company makes $18 million a year, $1.5 million a month. He is a Vietnamese guy with broken nose. He used to be a social worker. So, I don't have a marker. Oh, there we go. So one of those investment accounts where you can only make money, you can't lose money. There's life insurance, long-term care built inside of it. When we have somebody say $250 a month into one of those accounts, we get 12 times that amount from the insurance company, from Nationwide or Transamerica or Pacific Life or one of the companies. So they pay us $3,000. Okay, an advisor with us makes $1,000 on that. It's on one client. Okay, I was like, I worked really hard for $1,000 when I first came in the industry. I was like, that's pretty awesome. Okay, my sister, she wrote up a client in Orange County who was a surgeon. She made $75,000 in one day. One day, $75,000. My niece, who's 24, she works with me. I trained my niece. Took her out of the construction industry. Trained my niece. She made $15,000 in her second month, part time. My nephew's 27. He'll be a millionaire before he's 30. Okay, and these are all construction families. I took my whole family out of construction and said, hey, there's more money in finances. Okay, and then they obviously did my book and stuff. So, let me ask you something. We don't require experience. Why would a company not require experience in finances to go into finances? What's that?
Maybe to teach them the right way.
Teach properly, yes. Okay. Yeah. When I was a private investigator before this, the worst person to take on was a cop, right? They already knew everything. You couldn't teach them anything, you know? We want to financially educate people and teach you what's right. We don't want to teach you to, like, how to sell something. A lot of financial industry, they're taught to sell something. They just go in and sell something. We don't want you to do that. We want to say, well, do the plan, help the person with everything, and go on from there. Okay. So, okay, any other questions on anything? Let's see. What would be considered a good investment for a recent college graduate? Invest in your own financial education. Okay? You know what I mean? That's my advice. Invest in financial education, whether it's books or something like that. And be careful who you associate with. Okay, that's pretty going to be it. Okay. Okay. One more question, I guess.
We got about 4 minutes.
4 minutes. All right. I'm going to give you something crazy idea. So I was reading an article in Forbes magazine about an Uber driver. His name was Gavin. Okay? And Gavin came from the Philippines. Okay? And Gavin was like really ambitious. Okay? And Gavin eventually opened a jewelry store for himself. Okay? Gavin opened a jewelry store. He was super working hard, but it's expensive to open up a jewelry store. Okay? So what Gavin did was he drive Uber part-time. Right? And he's super nice and he's friendly and he'd be talking to people. And Gavin would start doing that. And pretty soon Gavin would talk to his customers. Right? And Gavin, people would say, hey, Gavin, if you own a jewelry store, why don't you put a brochure in the car? He's like, maybe I should do that. Well, so this Gavin guy put some brochures in his car, talked to his customers and made friends. Guess what? He started selling jewelry out of the back of his Uber. You know how much money he made the first year? $252,000. They put him in Forbes magazine. Okay? So I think I can make Uber drivers multi-millionaires in the financial services industry. I'm like, I wonder if I could do that. So we put books in the back of Ubers and lifts. Okay, it's going to be English, Spanish, and Mandarin. We're putting these in investment deals. We have an orange piggy bank, which is a logo. We're going to have people get in the back of Uber and lifts, and they go, hey, what's with the books? Person goes, hey, if you want more information, download the app. They download the app. We know where the lead comes. We can pay a referral commission to the Uber driver. Okay. See, Gavin, the jewelry store owner, you know what he realized? He realized, wait a second, maybe I don't need to drive Uber. Maybe I can get 25 people to drive Uber and Lyft for me, and I just sit by the phones and collect money on making the sales. Gavin can make $1 million a year selling Uber from his garage, using Uber and Lyft as the distribution. Isn't that crazy? Okay, so I'm going to do that. I'm like, I wonder if that would work. So we started testing it. That's what my app is for. It's for downloading it. So anyways, there's all kinds of ways to make money in the financial industry, whether you're the Uber driver, the Lyft driver, or whatever. There's obviously traditional model where you sit down and help people. There's also, anybody in accounting students? Anybody know any accountants or tax people existing? We take this technology, this robo-advisor, we put it into tax agencies, we get paid a residual income off the entire tax agency. Right? So my goal was to take 100,000 tax agencies across the United States, put the technology in their agency, and you could have 100,000 offices across the United States. So people also want to do that. Like, here's how we reach out to tax people. Here's how we introduce this technology to them. Okay? A person could be good on the phones and become a millionaire in the financial service industry. They'll ever in their office. A guy can drive Uber and become wealthy in the financial service industry. Okay? And nobody else is doing this stuff. I'm the only guy, I think, in the United States that's doing this stuff. Because it's fun. I don't know. Anyways, sound good? Okay, good. Any last questions? Anybody? If I get a really good question right now, I'm going to give you a book. $2 for good questions. What's that? Get a good question. Good questions. Anybody? What? You just have all your questions? I'm going to give you a book just because you're hearing with a good question. So, what else? Last book. One good question. You get a book too because you have good questions. One more. Good question. Yes? Best advice? Just keep increasing your education and understand that a job is going to be very limited. Okay? There's a book called Cash Flow Quadrant. You ever hear about that? Cash Flow Quadrant. There's Rich Dad, Poor Dad was the number 1. Cash Flow Quadrant is the number 2. It teaches you need to have other people's money. So let me summarize that for you. You have employees, self-employed, investors, and business owners. Okay? These people own businesses. These people are investors. These are employees. And these are self-employed. Okay? These are chiropractors, insurance salespeople, even financial advisors, real estate salespeople, or whatever. They're self-employed. It's just them working for money. Where's all the money in the world? There or there? It's all on that side, isn't it? Okay? So if you're an employee or self-employed in the future, just have a goal. Don't settle and say, if I'm an employee, how do I become an investor? And if I'm an employee, how would I start a business? Or if you're self-employed and you're working for yourself, you say, how do I become a business owner? And how do I become an investor? And just have a goal to get on this side, because that's where all the money is. Okay? Good question. Okay. You guys some bucks for your good questions, and then we'll move it back to Dr. Woods here. Yes. And if Drew's going to come to the presentation 6:30 at that address.
So, any other last questions? Let's give Mark a big round of applause. And I will see you guys next Monday.